Welcome back to Concacaf Connection. We got a lot to talk about, but we're going to start a little bit on a non-football related note because there's a big, massive gaming story. The GTA 6 trailer is here. Teaser trailer should be noted. Not a whole lot shown or given away. Kind of just builds the world a little bit. But Daniel, I'll kick it over to you. What did you think of it? What's your excitement level? What's going through your mind about GTA?
I am very excited. I'm very happy that I was wrong because I thought the game was going to be coming out in 2027. But yeah, dude, I'm really excited. I'm really happy. We've had the same GTA game for what, 12 years now? Or it's going to be 12 years when the new one comes
Yeah,
out.
At least
yeah,
2011,
it'll be
2013.
2013 it released.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So in 2025,
Yeah,
we will have been
10
playing the
years.
same GTA game for 12 years. So it's a nice bit of change with the advancement of technology too. I want to see what they can do. First female protagonist, Lucia, seems pretty cool. Um, I don't really know much about her other than like she's like an ex-convict going back to her, you know, past crimes or whatever. But obviously, I'm more excited for like the online play as well. So, because apparently it's going to be any like obviously they say this for every single game, but like it's going to be nothing that we've ever seen before. So I'm really excited, and I'm also really excited to just do like just do the classic like running people over, like going to the beach and
You're
like
that dude that the memes are
no,
about.
dude, no, for real. Like that's part like whenever GTA came out, I think like the first week I didn't even do any objectives. I was just like being a fucking hooligan and just blowing up the city and getting that 5 star. Or no, what is it? 6 stars now?
No, it's still 5.
That's the
I thought
fun.
it
It
was.
was I think they added like a 6 star later
That's what
on,
I thought.
like if you last for
Mm.
so long, but it started out as just 5.
The fuck they
Well, I
do
knew
with
it
6
started off at
stars? They
five. I
nuke
thought
your
this new
ass?
one. I just thought the new one started. I thought the new one just had 6. But either way, I'm really excited. Obviously it's the first trailer. It said trailer one, so we're probably gonna be getting more trailers in the near future.
Probably
Um,
probably next summer, I would imagine, for the next
yeah,
trailer.
sometime next year for sure. But yeah, overall, I'm really excited. And yeah,
Yeah, I'm with you. I think I'm much more obviously looking forward to the online rather than the story mode. But if the story mode is kind of like a Bonnie and Clyde type thing where it's like a relationship, a couple doing all these crimes together, that's going to be really fun. Especially if it's like Spider-Man 2 where you can go back and forth. That would be really cool and I would definitely want to do uh put a bunch of effort into that and completing that. But obviously, the one thing everyone is wanting to see is online. How long will it be until we see online? I imagine it'll probably be a while.
yeah, because
Um,
it took a few months, right, for online to happen for GTA 5.
I think it's like
yeah,
longer than 2
it
months.
wasn't there 2 discs. If I'm remembering correctly, didn't it come with 2 discs?
Wait, hold on.
I
I
think so.
actually have the
Unless it was
Didn't
an
OG
it
Xbox.
come
copy
with
of
the?
this
Unless it was an
game.
Didn't it
Xbox.
come with? I swear it came with a story mode disc and an online disc.
I don't know. I don't understand why everyone's so excited though for online. Like I do understand it, but I feel like
I'm more into fucking the story.
I'm more into the story too. The only reason I say online's kind of mess because for a long time, and this is something I don't like about Rockstar. I think they do it poorly. Is they don't have enough content when they first release online, so it's kind of
That's
just
not
like do
fucking.
whatever you want to do, and there's not much to actually do except be a hooligan, like you said, Daniel, and that gets tiring really quickly. Um, I honestly think that the modders did it way better with like RP and stuff that came out in the last 3 years and the stuff that
I want
they
to try
made
RP.
to do. What's up?
I want to try out RP.
I want to try RP too because it looks like a lot of fun. But like they made it to where it's a lot more like you're not just doing missions and stuff or heist. You're actually like it feels like a living, breathing city. Like they mod it to where there's an actual Twitter, there's actual live feeds, like people have jobs, people are doing shit, there's gang activity. Like it is cool. Like to me, that is what GTA Online should be, and that's what they're gonna have to compete with. But I mean, to them, it doesn't matter because even if you bought right now, if you just buy the version of the game that lets you just play online, you can mod that shit easy. And Rockstar still makes their money, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Plus Rockstar, I mean, and also I am still interested in doing the single player game. They don't fucking miss with single player games. Like the past GTAs as well as like
Red Dead.
oh my gosh, Red Dead Redemption. So I'm excited for everything. But obviously 2 years away is gonna be kind of rough, but gives us more time to
I imagine, since I know, people who were being optimistic were saying holiday season next year. People who were being pessimistic, like Daniel, were saying 2026, 2027. So I imagine if they have a trailer ready already and they know 2025, then I would imagine it would be spring or summer 2025. So it's really only like a year and a half away. It's not, I know 2025 is technically 2 years away, but we're almost to 2024 already, and I imagine it'll come out sometime between like April and June. Because I think
summer.
didn't GTA 5 come out around April?
No, it came out. Oh, it came out in the
It
fall
came out, I
because
think, in the summer.
yeah,
It was either right before summer or during
It was
summer.
in the fall. Now you know why? Because we were in school when it came out. It came out right before
September 17th.
because I was a
September
junior.
17th.
I was in junior in high school. It came out right before the winter because I remember playing GTA all throughout Christmas break. Ah, that's so
You were
long
a
ago.
junior in
I was
high
a
school?
junior in high school when that shit came out, bro. Because what?
Yeah, I was
How
a
that was
freshman.
what 2013. So
Okay,
I was 16, bro. I was going.
Yeah,
young.
I was 14 when GTA 5 came out.
That's crazy, bro. That's fucking.
And I'll be 26 when
insane.
GTA 6.
Hey,
Or 26 or 27.
you ain't gotta say all that.
26 or
You ain't
27.
gotta say all that.
I'll be
memes-
20. I'll be 28 when it comes out. Shit.
The memes are so funny there because it was like 13-year-old me. It's like you have to have a parent.
Yeah,
And it's like 26-year-old me. Are you going to be paying with credit or Visa?
I love that.
Neither
Dude,
my I'm gonna be one of those
dude.
broke boyfriends. Neither my girl's getting this from me. Actually, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I need to. Hopefully by 2025, I'll have someone who will buy it for me.
Nah, fuck that. Be your own sugar daddy.
No,
Buy it
no,
yourself.
okay. Actually, though, how much do we think the game is actually going to be? I know there's a lot of discourse online that it's going to be $200 or $100.
Okay,
How much do you think the base, like not the special edition, just the standard edition? If you had to
70.
guess right now, how
70.
much do you think the standard
I'll
edition
say
will be?
I think it's gonna be. If I have to be honest, I think it's gonna be $99.99 because
No.
we're already basically playing $80. And the only reason I say that is because this game legitimately might be one of the first games to get close to 200 gigabytes. It's gonna be groundbreaking and it's gonna change things. I don't know how that's gonna work. I would hope it's just 70, but this game's gonna be huge. Like they basically already said, they've already confirmed that it is all the maps together. Like this is their big send off. This is the last game they're doing. So it just makes you think it's gonna be huge. You can't fit that much content and it not be a lot of gigabytes. So
See, the only reason why I don't think the base game will be above 70 is just it took them literally what 15, 20 years to increase from 60 to 70. I understand that they're going to try and push it to it not be such a long gap in between the price of games increasing. I don't think that Rockstar is going to be wanting to push the envelope
see, here's the issue though.
when they've put in so much money though.
Right, but here's the thing. Rockstar is one of those game companies. Is one of the only game
$30
companies.
increase.
Yeah, they're the only game company where you can admit they don't miss. So, like their games, they take a long time on their games, and they're very good on their games. But the issue though is like it hasn't taken 16 or 17 years for a price to increase. The price has increased up to like 40. It was it? It was 49 or 40 during the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 era. And
60
then
bucks.
No, 60.
no, it wasn't 60 yet because
It was
PlayStation
still
4
60.
broke the 60.
Nope.
No.
Was
It
it
was all
not?
60.
PS3s were
PS3,
60s. I'm pretty sure
Xbox
I'm pretty sure
360 was all,
PS2s were 60s.
No, PS2s weren't 60s. PS2s were still
they were not
cheaper.
60. They were like $40.
But
The
it
PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, those games
they
were
may
60
they
bucks.
may have gone up to 60 towards the tail end, like when Last of Us and everything were coming out. But
Nope.
I don't know. But I do know PlayStation 4 then went up because we went up. There was definitely a price increase when they went to the PlayStation 4. And then there was another price increase now.
There was not a price increase. It was
There
the
was no
same from
price
PlayStation 3 to
I'm
PlayStation 4.
99% sure it was a price increase.
No.
You're wrong,
I
kiddo.
could be wrong. I don't know. I bought too many games.
You are, the point one is wrong.
Is it?
You said that you said you're 99.9% sure, and
The
the
point-
point one is wrong.
Well,
Okay, I can't read it past like this. It's Bloomberg, so I can only read like the first paragraph. The $60 video game dates back to at least the 1990s. Rarely has a game exceeded that price threshold in the 3 decades since, even as inflation drove the dollar's value to nearly half of what it was in the days of the Super Nintendo. That's all I can read. So there were
I don't
$60
remember.
games in the
I don't
90s.
remember ever paying anything other than $60 for a game until
yeah.
recently, when it became 70.
The only times I ever played more than $60 is when I was getting like special edition games and stuff.
Yeah. Well,
But
yeah.
Other than that, every baseline game from PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, going to PlayStation 4, and then Xbox. What was it? Xbox One.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all $60.
Yeah.
The baseline was $60.
I don't remember that. I feel like I'm having one of those Mandela effect.
I think
feel like-
You
are.
definitely are. There was definitely a jump in price from PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3.
But I don't
But it's
remember.
been the same for a very long time.
I don't remember it just being 60. I remember it increased twice. But maybe I'm crazy.
You're crazy.
Yeah, I think it'll still be 70. But that just has me worried that I don't know. I'm sure
they're gonna charge out the ass for GTA Online.
Yeah, they're gonna charge extra.
Worry.
They're gonna charge extra for GTA Online. I know.
They're gonna make
Has
their
that
money.
been
Don't worry.
confirmed?
No, but the more I think about it, I'm like, Jose is right, because this game is, potentially going to change gaming, the way games are developed, and like the way how immersive they are forever. If online if it's like as good as it is shaping up to be and as big and groundbreaking, there's no way they're not gonna charge people to play online. Maybe not monthly, but I could see you having to buy the game and then also pay another like $20 or $30 to play online.
See, I just don't see that. I could see them doing a
Or
standalone online where you can buy the
yeah.
standalone if you don't want to buy the base game. I could see them doing that like they do it now. I just don't see them releasing online for an extra charge, because then no one's going to play it, and they don't want that. They want people to buy the shark cards.
Yeah,
If
that's
you have
the
free
other
access
thing.
into it with the game, like you're gonna, like, if you already bought the game, you're not gonna fucking buy the GTA Online. Like if I have to buy
I wouldn't do
online,
that.
I'm not fucking buying online.
I'm
don't
not
care.
doing it.
Well,
You
low
say
key,
that now.
low key, they might end up doing that because they already made a standalone version where you can just buy the online.
But if they do that, that's fine.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It might to get the whole bundle. It might be $99 because they might be like the game's 70. Online's another $29.
One or the other. It would be one or the other. It wouldn't be like both together. Like,
that's what I'm saying. You'd have to buy both if you wanted both the packages.
No. I'm saying if you buy the base game, you're going to get online for free. But they could also, if you don't want to buy the base game, they can give you an option to buy the online.
Oh, yeah. That's
So
how they have
both.
it now. That's how they have it now. But
Yeah, I think they've seen that the formula works this way, so they're not going to go away from it.
Yeah, I hope not. I
Hopefully.
have a lot of faith in Rockstar, but
Yeah.
online, in the beginning of online, is where I think they fail a lot because I also think Red Dead was trash online in the beginning.
Oh, it sucks. Red Dead.
And
Online
honestly, it still sucks to this day. That's the issue with Rockstar. There's not much to actually do. Like, there's just missions and stuff, but it's not much to actually do.
And that's why
GTA
that's why I
is a
don't care about
different
online.
But that's why I would rather do, like, I'd just let the modders do their thing and just be like, cool, I'll play the story, and then When the modders get RP up, I'm up. I'm in there.
I still can't believe it took a year and a half to release the damn game on PC after console for GTA 5.
What if it's the same?
It really take that long?
Then I'm gonna buy both.
This man's like, I ain't
Yo,
doing
why I'm
both,
waiting
but
a
I'll
year
buy
and a
both.
half. Have my money.
Well, honestly, I thought you could just buy the game and then you could just buy the online PC and then just
Okay,
move on
yeah.
with your day.
Yeah.
Which is probably what they're going to end up doing. I think
Probably.
I'm with you. I think that's how they're going to do it because that's how they have it now.
Well,
Uh,
that seems like enough GTA talk for today.
Yeah, almost 20 minutes.
Where do we want to start in the footballing world?
Well, Brandon's not here, so we can't talk about the corruption that we witnessed today. But I'm thinking that we could start off talking about Newcastle, Manchester United, because I feel like there's a lot of talking points there.
Both on and off the pitch.
Like, how close is Eric Ten Hag to losing his job? Because that performance was.
I said
poor.
Christmas.
Look, I said so. His 6-game stretch in the league is Newcastle, Chelsea, Bournemouth, Liverpool, West Ham, Aston Villa, and that stretches from last weekend to the 26th. I said if he didn't get, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. 1,
well,
2,
let's be honest
3.
here. He has literally 3 points in the bank against Chelsea. I've never seen a game.
That's what they said. That's what they said about Tottenham.
I've never seen a game have
Tottenham.
4-0 written on it more than this one.
If he doesn't get out of the 18 points available in the next 6 games, if he doesn't get at least 14 out of the 18, he's out.
I mentioned.
It's funny that we're saying all this and they're 3 points off of 5th.
Yeah, but I think the difference though is like with
They've been
Manchester United,
lucky.
it's one of those things where I think they're getting results, but you're playing really poorly. Like you're digressing
It's
and
not
you can see
sustainable.
it.
It's not sustainable.
Yeah.
No, and it's
Yeah.
one of those things where I think Daniel. I honestly think Daniel is honestly. I can't believe I'm gonna say it. I think he's too harsh right now on the Eric Ten Hag thing, where he needs to get 14 points out of 18 because they've lost like almost as many games as they've won this season in all competitions. So like honestly, as long as they can get, I think as long as he can get 3 wins, and then maybe a draw and avoid more than 2 losses, then I think it's okay because right now they're playing really poor. And I get where you're coming from because it's Manchester United, but like we gotta eventually everybody, especially Manchester United fans, just have to realize that you're not the Manchester United you were. Like that statement doesn't fucking matter anymore. It doesn't matter to Manchester United, you're shit. It doesn't matter. Like, unfortunately, that just is the way. It's just the tide, like, churning. It'd be different if this was Pep Guardiola at Manchester City. It'd be different if this was
So
Jurgen Klopp at.
He is a good coach.
I say he's a good coach. I say he's overrated.
Okay.
But it'd be different if it's Jurgen Klopp, Like, those are different teams with different structures. Then you could go, well, it's Liverpool, it's Manchester City. You can't go, it's Manchester United anymore because no one gives a fuck. You're not good on the pitch. You're good at generating money, but you're not a good footballing institute anymore. And that's just the reality. So you have to go and accept where you are and rebuild. Chelsea are going through the same thing. You can't go, well, it's Chelsea. We're not good right now.
Here's the only thing I can say with firing Ten Hag and what might save him for the time being, past the 18 points. The takeover. I think they're going to try and hold out on the takeover to happen before and set up whatever recruitment, football director, their backroom staff before they go for the manager, so that everything's aligned. So that's the only thing that I could think that could save him for the time being.
I get that, but also then because correct me if I'm wrong, you know a lot more about the financial aspects to certain backgrounds for clubs. But didn't the same thing happen with Chelsea, where like right now the scandals we're being involved in was under different ownership, but the new ownership wasn't allowed to see books until they bought the club. So they weren't allowed to see what the financial misplay was. So isn't it also a possibility that Manchester United get a takeover and that rebuild is not going to be as fast as they hope because depending on whatever financial mismanagement the club has done, which I don't know. I mean, they claim to be the most the financially stable club, and they are. They generate a lot of money, but we don't know where that money goes. And so that's why I'm like, I don't know how they would do it, because you got to hire a whole new staff. You also have all these players on ridiculous contracts. It's got to be kind of difficult because that rebuild's going to be a slow one. It's like almost Arsenal-esque, the rebuild they have to do.
Well, the issue with that is it's not just the Chelsea takeover is very different with the United takeover, just because the Chelsea takeover was Roman got the club stolen from him because of his involvement with the Russian government. The Glazers are still going to be like majority stakeholders in United. They're not selling everything.
Right, but
it's just Jim Ratcliffe is just buying a piece, and then he's going to take over footballing. He's going to be essentially the football director or director of operations and put in his own staff.
So the only reason I bring it up though is just because like I'm not comparing it. Obviously, they're two different takeovers. I just mean like right now with the risk that we're seeing a lot of big teams take with financial takeovers, and with like Chelsea having new allegations on financial misplay. Obviously, Manchester City have their allegations. Tottenham are getting theirs. It's a risk, isn't it, for any owner, especially if they don't allow you. Which I don't know if that was just a Chelsea thing, because you're right. Maybe it was because Roman got the club. He basically got held at ransom. So I don't know.
The issue as well with the Chelsea thing is the UK government. So here's
that was also fucked.
Here's where the allegations on Chelsea are different from the charges to City, and I'm not taking shots at City. Just the differences is they're starting to say they want to investigate us. The UK government already investigated our books. They went through and swiped it all clean. They checked every little fucking thing that we've paid, and they said, okay, there's no foul play in these things. It's ready to be sold. So that's why I don't see anything happening with these allegations or the calls for the investigations, just because UK government already fucking did it. They already did it. They held it at ransom. They wanted to liquidate us. That was their overall goal. They didn't find anything that they could do it with. So that's where like the difference is. Like, sure, United might have issues as well, but like it's not being a new takeover. It's going to be money injected into the club, so the debts that they have, they can pay back the debts. They can. I think Jim Ratcliffe is putting in like a bill or two into the debts that they already have, and then putting in an extra like bill or two into footballing operations. Like, they're gonna have money to spend.
That's so crazy.
It's just the thing will be, will the new footballing people want to keep Eric Ten Hag and get rid of the players, kind of like how Chelsea did it, because Chelsea's a brand new team essentially, or will they keep the team and throw away Ten Hag?
It'll be interesting in terms of development there. But regardless, I just think right now on the footballing side, especially watching Newcastle play them on, was it Saturday or Sunday?
Yeah, Saturday.
Yeah, that was
the second.
That was so poor. Like I understand Manchester United want to be a transitional team, kind of like what Real Madrid did in sense when like during the Champions League, their Champions League glory in the last 10 years. But like it almost felt like watching Manchester City versus like Burnley, the way Manchester United set up. It was poor. It was not good. And like, I don't know, I guess I'm hypercritical on them because when you also look at it, Newcastle had a 17-year-old. Newcastle have an injury crisis. They just lost their starting keeper, and they are still outworking your team and outperforming you in every aspect. And just as a Manchester United supporter, when you have all this money that you spend on all this talent, it's got to be frustrating. Especially when when they've continually tried backing this manager, and it just looks like they get worse and worse and worse every game.
Newcastle, like, it was like men against boys, honestly.
No, Newcastle were great.
It was so bad. Yeah, Newcastle were phenomenal.
Can you guys let me know what happened with the Chelsea and Newcastle game? Because what happened? You said you guys didn't watch the game?
I woke up after the
Like,
game had happened. I saw that
I
Enzo
was at
scored
work.
a header and a penalty, and then Mudryk won that penalty, and then we ended up scoring a third. I'm trying to remember. I think it was Colwell scored a third on a header. We scored our goals on set pieces. I
No,
think.
no, no, no,
It's
no,
not
no.
Colwell.
Newcastle,
No,
Chelsea.
Newcastle, not
Newcastle,
this last
Chelsea.
game.
Oh, Newcastle, Chelsea.
Yeah, last week when I couldn't watch it. Yeah,
Oh, it was an absolute.
I saw the
just,
Sterling goal, but I wanted to see if you guys had watched the game. To
I was
see,
at
like,
work.
Oh,
I was
bro.
at work
It
too.
was
I couldn't watch.
it was just a I don't want to say it's an inexperience, but it has to be an inexperience. It has to be an inexperienced team that hasn't played with each other for that long. Like I know they played with each other for a couple months, but it's different when you look at other teams that have been together for years. It just seemed like they lost trust and they lost their heads. I mean, like even like Thiago Silva made a terrible error.
I saw the blunder he did.
Reece James was just very poor, made two silly mistakes that cost him to being sent off. You know, it just felt like we lost our heads, and it screamed of inexperience, but it also screamed of just like, I don't know if it's frustration maybe. It was not a good game. You were much better on the beaches of Cancun than you were on the couch of your house.
Well, the game was when I was flying there, so.
Oh, well, you're much better on that plane away from all the pain and misery that is Chelsea right now. But no, I think, honestly, I think Newcastle, I don't know how they're still playing the high tempo style they've been playing with the injuries they have. I mean, they had two goalkeepers on the bench. They have a bunch of fullbacks and center backs. They have no depth, and they're still just playing like nonstop. It almost feels like the old Liverpool when Jurgen Klopp first got there, the way they press. But I also think Eddie Howe's going to have to change and adapt that long term while they try to get more recruitment in.
One thing that pisses me off about Newcastle is all you see in the media is how they're in an injury crisis, this and that. Like everyone's saying, like poor old Newcastle, like they don't have anyone to play with. Like Chelsea didn't get that fucking those comments, the narrative that we were fucking in shambles because of all the 12 injuries that we had.
No, but that's because
Why the
everyone
fuck
hates
does
us.
Newcastle get it? Why does Newcastle get it?
It's because everyone hates us. Let's be honest here. Everyone hates us. No one cared about Newcastle. Now this season, if Newcastle go on to do something special, next season they'll be hating on Newcastle too. That's why everyone all of a sudden hates Arsenal when Arsenal start crying about injuries.
Maybe.
That's why no one's talking a lot of shit on Tottenham. Well, until they lost 3 games in a row, and now everyone's like,
Yeah, maybe Ange is washed. That's what everyone's saying, or something, some shit like that.
He pulled a 3-3.
Yeah.
He pulled a 3-3
He's
draw.
washed, I fear.
Is it done? Is the curse set in?
The honeymoon over? Nah, I don't think so.
Yeah, no, the honeymoon's not over yet. The honeymoon will be over when he loses his first final.
Ooh.
First, you gotta make the final, buddy. Let's calm down.
Well, okay,
Whoa,
that's
whoa, whoa.
implied. That's obviously implied.
Low key.
What if you don't make a final for 3 years? The honeymoon is gonna stay.
No, I think they'll make a
Yes.
final within 3 years.
It's a project. It's not. Yeah. I mean,
I think they'll
with,
do
what's
it.
his name?
Like, let's chill out now, buddy.
What's his name? Pochettino. It took him quite a while for him to actually start challenging.
Took him a year and a half, 2 years, and then he was in his first title race that we ended, and then he was in the Champions League final the next season. It was in the next season, I think.
Oh, he was in 2 title races back to back, and then the season after his second title race, he was then in the Champions League final.
I feel like the second title race is the one that was really like a title race, the one that he lost to Leicester.
Mourinho didn't reach a final until
He never reached the final.
He never technically did because he was sacked
to the
before.
final.
Honestly, I
You
think
guys are
reached
fucking
the
idiots
final,
for
he just didn't
sacking him
play
right
in the
before the final.
Daniel Levy.
We would have won if
Did
he was
Mourinho
there.
ever even
We
lose
would
a
have won.
final?
We would have won if he was there.
Has Mourinho ever lost a final? Yes, he did. He won. He lost.
Yeah, recently.
Yeah, I'm sure he's
recently
lost one.
the Europa League. He lost that one. Yeah.
I heard
Before
that
though.
he's got talks of being sacked right now.
I guess we can. Does he really?
I guess there's like rumors
they're
that
not challenging like how they were projected to. They're like I know they're still top 10.
They're
but
like 7th, I think, but
The
that's
thing is,
not
they had
fourth.
no money.
competitive.
They're
They had no
fourth.
money.
They're fourth.
I think it was beginning of the season. That's what it was.
It was the beginning of the season, but they have also
Yeah.
no money. They didn't buy anyone.
They spent a lot of
Got a
money last
couple.
season.
But they also lost what's his fucking name to West Ham? No, to Villa. Zaniolo.
No, Zaniolo was gone before that. Zaniolo was at Galatasaray.
Was he?
Mm-hmm. He left to Galatasaray.
And who am I thinking of? I swear someone from Roma went to a Premier League team. Someone like good from Roma.
Let me see.
They lost. No, they got Renato Sanchez.
Fucking Renato
Bum,
Sanchez.
Maybe I've got it wrong in my head.
Yeah,
but-
no, because you're thinking. Let me look at the players out.
You're probably thinking of
The only player that
Newcastle
even
dude.
came, like, that was even associated with England was Lukaku. 'Cause he was at Chelsea.
No, yeah, that happened. He went Zaniolo went to Galatasaray in February, and now he's currently at Villa on loan. That's what
right.
I was. I thought he went straight from Roma to Villa. So you were right, Jose.
I know. I may have got the video. I may have got the video game prices wrong, but I got the football right. But no, I think. But also, Zaniolo's not been great. I think he works in that midfield, but I don't think he's been great. I mean, he hasn't. But
I know, but just
Not-
the player that contributed for them that they lost.
it's honestly kind of like Chiesa, because Chiesa was so sick, and then something happened to him, and he's not the player he once was.
He got hurt.
I know, but I want that Euro 2020 Euros Chiesa. He was
Same
sick.
dude.
He was
I
fire.
want that Euro 2020 Italy, dude.
I know. I don't want that too.
Same.
They could win the World Cup with that. I ain't gonna lie.
Bro,
That
they could.
team
They have the
could've,
team
bro.
to do it. They don't. I don't know what happened.
Well, in 3 years' time, I don't know what they're gonna look like.
Chiesa was on another level.
Mm-hmm.
Italy was on another level, bro.
It
I'm
was
so fucking glad. Honestly, like obviously glad that Italy won, but I'm more glad that it was England that they beat. It
Yeah,
just
almost-
makes it it makes it so much sweeter.
We went to Pens, right? That was Pens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
it was
went to Pens.
Pens.
Donnarumma
That
came out
penalty
big.
shootout was insane because both teams were missing, and like both keepers were making saves. It was intense. I was
I just
watching it in
remember-
the cafe at work.
I remember Saka missed the last one, and
And Rashford missed one, and then they got racially slandered
And then
for it.
Jadon
It was
Sancho.
it was Sancho, Rashford, and Saka that missed consecutively, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think.
I know Saka was the last one. I know that.
I think Saka got his penalty saved by Donnarumma. Rashford
Yeah.
got his penalty saved. I think Sancho missed.
Sancho just missed. Yeah,
I think.
Sancho.
I don't
just
remember.
missed.
One of those two missed. I know Saka got his penalty saved. I know that for sure.
God, I'm so happy we fucking beat them. Just the
Same, dude.
whole damn tournament is coming home. It's coming home.
Same.
They've never won it before in their history. The Euros, it's coming home. Bitch has never been home.
Let's be honest, though. They're probably going to win the Euros next year.
No, they're
I
not. Not
doubt
until
it.
they get rid of
And
Southgate.
Southgate's still there at the helm. I do highly doubt
Not until they get
But
rid of
I think they
Southgate.
have enough talent to bail him out.
it. I don't think so.
No.
You say that, but look at
Not
what
in the
happened
finals. They
World Cup.
can make it to the finals. They can't get bailed out at the finals.
I don't know, dude. The World Cup, they didn't even make it. How far did they make it to the World Cup?
Like semis?
Semis and they lost to France.
Really? I thought they
Because Kane
like
missed the penalty in the
quarterfinals.
semifinals.
You're talking about I think 2018
Jersey.
when they went out against Colombia, or I think it was Colombia. No, they beat
Colombia wasn't
Colombia.
there.
They were in the semifinals. They made back-to-back semis, didn't they?
no, they
Yeah,
made
they'll make
semis.
deep in
They made it
any
to a
tournament.
final. And then I swear after that final, the
Oh,
Euro
it
final,
was the quarterfinals because Morocco made the semis
Oh, that's
That's what I
right.
and lost to
thought.
France.
That's what I
England just
thought.
need to find a manager that they have that's really good at knockout football. Is what they really need to do.
Otter.
Oh God.
Now,
Hey,
Potter,
we beat Dortmund.
I'm trying to think.
Beat Dortmund.
I'm really trying to think of who they have. Like, who could you hire? Because, like, I don't think they go for
Gary
a foreign
Neville.
manager anymore. No, Gary Neville can't even coach a fucking normal team.
Brendan Rodgers.
I think they would hate it.
I mean, okay. Let's be honest here. Let's be real honest here. If they want a World Cup, you bring in Tuchel.
Nah. Nah, Tuchel ain't
No.
gonna do it.
Tuchel is
Tuchel will even
is
take it.
one of the best knockout managers in the world.
But you see,
I don't
the
Not
think
in the
he'll
issue,
league.
knock it.
Not in the league, but in the knockouts.
but the issue though is that it's the same. Like, unfortunately, obviously Tuchel's a bad manager, but it's honestly the same style though as what's his fucking name right now, Southgate. It's just
Southgate.
No, it's not
defensive.
the same style.
It
It's not
is.
the
He's
same
gonna
style.
play 3 in the back. He's gonna play 2 fullbacks wide, and they're gonna be counterattacking. It's the same
We
style.
played 4-3-3 once in a while with Tuchel.
Oh, once in a while, but let's be honest,
Once in a while.
we played 3 center
Well,
backs,
our
and then
team was built for the 3-4-3.
I know, and England isn't. England's definitely built to be more of like a. I mean, listen, I'm not arguing with you. I think Tuchel's a better manager. Obviously, I just think it's like the same style. I don't
I'm
know.
just saying, if they want to win the World Cup, Tuchel might be one of those people.
Sean Dyche.
I just don't think they would hire.
Stop! You don't tell me stop. You fucking stop.
I don't think they'll hire another foreign manager. I think they've gone
They're
down
not
that
going to
route.
hire a foreign manager. No,
and they're never gonna
not.
win.
So they gotta
No English managers won the Premier League.
But you're not talking
Ever.
about Premier League. Which English manager has won the most FA Cups or like knockout tournaments? There's got to be a manager
Has there-
up there. I don't know. That's what I'm asking. I don't know.
Has there even been an English manager that's won the FA Cup since the Premier League started?
An English manager? Didn't they have an
Here's
English
the
manager?
thing.
Didn't Manchester City have an English manager when they won?
I don't think so.
Just get Sir Alex Ferguson in there for the one.
Hear me out.
tournament.
Hear me out.
Oh man!
No, this is serious. This is not a troll. I'm not trolling right now. I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say like.
You said "hear me out" a little too many times.
I'm not trolling. I swear to God. If England are serious about winning the World Cup in 2026, their next manager should be Eddie Howe.
I think that's the same issue though. As
I think
Howe
he's
hasn't
the
won-
best. I think he's the best available.
Let's
I mean,
see
I guess
how he
he's
does
the
in the
best
Champions League.
English manager right now.
I don't
Let's
disagree
see
with
how
that.
he does in the Champions League first,
Yeah.
and then we'll get there.
I just think the
Obviously,
issue
he
though,
might want to stay at Newcastle, but 3 years is a long time. A lot can change. They might move on from him. I think he's the best English manager currently going, unless I'm missing someone.
no,
He
I,
just seems like such a natural. Like, I just feel like that would be a home run hire for them.
I think you're right. He is the best English manager. The issue though is the same thing. Is like the criteria. Unfortunately, is like you could go for a manager, but he's unproven when it comes to tournaments, and these international like tournaments are knockout football. Like I know he's good and consistent in the league, but like Champions League is the first time we're seeing him in like a real knockout competition. He's doing better than most people gave him credit for, and Newcastle credit for, to be fair. But I think
But
I
in
think
3
it's
years'
too-
time, he might have won a knockout tournament.
you're right. But in 3 years' time, knowing the FA, they might want to stay with the manager that qualifies them for the World Cup.
So Southgate, no, good. Keep it.
So-
Honestly, keep him.
I don't know. It's a tough one for England. Same thing with Italy. Styles change. Spalletti might change them completely.
It's too soon with him. I feel like
It's just
The
hard.
issue with Italy is not the management; it's the player pool.
That's what I'm
It's
saying.
player
That's what I'm saying.
Fucking
It's
awful.
player development. It's player
fucking
development.
awful.
We have what is his name? Colo Shelley from Burnley. He looks like he could be up there in a couple-
Colio but
Koleosho. He just got called up to the Italy under-21s. I think he's gonna get called up to the first team soon. I know he's a triple national, isn't he?
USA and Canada. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think he's gonna stay with Italy. When you get called up to the under,
He low key would start.
yeah, that's what my
sooner
thing
rather
is.
than later.
That's what my thing is. It's like when you look at people like Keane who got a chance. Like I know, like the USA fans and the Canadian fans are helpful, but to me, when a player goes from U17 and then is playing consistent football and then churns down other call-ups to go to the under-21s with Italy, that just makes you think he's sold on Italy.
Was he born in Italy or was he born somewhere else?
I think he was born in Italy. Don't quote me
I thought
on
he was
that.
born. I thought
He
he was
might be.
born in Canada.
He might be. I don't know. Someone's got to tell me. I don't know. I just don't think
He was actually born in Connecticut.
How long did he live in Connecticut before he went to?
Koleosho began playing. Hold on.
While he's looking for that up, I know he did play for the under-15s for the USA, but then he's been with Italy ever since, and I don't think he's.
There's not a lot of information on where he
There you go.
like how long he lived where he lived. It seems like
What academy did he go to? Did he go to any academy?
It seems like he lived in America until he was like 11, and then started to get looked at by youth academies. He went to Spain to develop when he was young. 2016, he moved to a youth academy for Reus, a Spanish football team, Reus. I've never heard of that team.
Rus? Sounds like Russia.
Before moving to Espanyol's youth system in 2020.
So he has to be Italian by like
his parents probably.
Yeah.
Cogliosho.
Yeah, that's an Italian name if I've ever heard one.
And maybe honestly, it could just be one of those things where even though he grew up here, he grew up in a very Italian-esque home, and Italy just feels like home.
I mean, Connecticut has a big Italian.
Mafiosos out there.
East Coast, yeah, East Coast, yeah.
Got the mafiosos out there. I don't know. I just think
Cogliosho was born in the United States with a Nigerian father, so he's actually a quad national. Nigerian father and Italian Canadian mother.
Get him
oh, that's why.
in.
That's,
Get him in.
that makes sense. I feel like a lot of people might.
We need him in the team. We need him in the national team. I don't give a fuck. Put him in.
I might as well give him a chance. But like,
Fuck Canada. Do Nigeria, Italy, or the U.S. Don't go to that wash.
now fuck the U.S. Go to
USC.
Italy.
Don't go to the U.S. either.
Go to Italy or go to
Better
just
than
go to Italy.
Canada.
Don't go to either Canada or the U.S.
Go to Italy. You're already playing for the youth team. Might as well just stay in there. That's my
I'd rather
logic.
go to Nigeria than one of those two.
I know you would, but
Sorry, Eddie.
Nigeria are ass now, though.
He could bring them back.
they're not that
Yeah,
bad.
one player.
Or he could bring back Italy.
Nigeria have a very good striker problem that they're just very top heavy. That Nigeria.
What do they have?
Osimhen, they've got what's his name? The guy, Bayern Leverkusen striker, isn't he? Bolafini? I can't think of it.
Boniface.
He's
He's so
Nigerian, right?
good.
I think he's Nigerian. Don't
Yeah, he is. He's so good.
look at that football knowledge.
Okay, buddy.
I was number one on the list. I gotta keep it up.
You were number one on my list.
I was number one on the list. They have Tareem Mafi. They also have Umar Sadiq. And then I think Moses Simone is doing pretty good in League One. So like they've got a good attacking. They're a good attacking team. Their defense is garbage and their midfield's unfortunately lacking a lot.
How did we even get on this international talk?
Who the fuck knows?
Newcastle, that's why.
Because the damn fucking dude from Arsenal hasn't shown up yet. I think he was on his way home.
We're gonna end up finishing the podcast before he jumps on.
We're just a tangent merchant. We're tangent merchants. We go off on tangents all the time.
Might as well just talk about the robbery that happened today.
Play until fucking Arsenal
We
scores.
could talk about City Spurs.
Oh, we could talk about City Spurs. Because that game,
I didn't watch the game. I didn't go.
I was
honestly,
in and out of the game.
me and Eddie
Honestly,
watched the game.
City were so good in the first half, and then it's not that they were bad in the second half. It's just that we were better. We were a lot better than like in the first half. We were ass, and then we improved so much in the second half that we finally like matched. I don't want to say matched their level, but we played to a level where we could like get something from it. We finally played at that level, and I think the result was fair based on how the teams played. I think a tie was fair based on the performances from both teams, because I think there were spells where Spurs were much better than City, especially in the beginning of the second half. But then obviously, I mean, the majority of the first half, City were the better side. So I think the result was fair based on the way the game was played. But I can't complain about a point away against City. Like I'm very, very happy with the result.
Especially not with the injury list you have. But you know what? It reminded me of? Abdon, you know what?
Kulusevski, hold on real quick. Kulusevski as an attacking midfielder, Ange might have found something, bro. He's been so good when he like was shifting into the attacking midfield role at times.
I'm not gonna lie. I think
Ange was cooking when he did that.
I'm not gonna lie.
He did it against Villa too.
Once he moved back
Obviously,
to
we
the
lost that
right,
game, but-
he was way more dangerous. But
I mean, he scored when he was on the right.
That's what I
but
mean. But
he's versatile. He's versatile.
He is.
What were you gonna say, Jose?
What I was gonna say is, you know what it reminded me of? I don't remember if you remember the game where we beat Manchester City 3-1. If you remember,
The
back.
Pulisic one?
What's up?
The
Not
Pulisic
the
one?
Pulisic one. This was back under, I think it was Conte and Mourinho. We beat them 3-1. It was when De Bruyne he played like a ball across the face of goal. De Bruyne hit the post. Do you remember that? Like from open, there was an open goal.
City won 3 or we won 3?
We won 3. It was Willian, Eden Hazard.
Was the one when Diego Costa bullied the defender?
I think so. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
It was that game. It reminded me when what's his name? The left winger for Manchester City. Daniel, help me. The new one. The new guy. Can't think of his name. Yeah, Doku. When he cut in on his right, and
Poro had Doku.
Yeah, maybe in the second half, but the first half, he was struggling.
In the first half.
But when
Doku hasn't done shit against any good fullback in the league.
No, first half this time he did good. Second half he was kind of garbage.
All he had was that one shot off the post.
I know, but when that didn't go in, that immediately gave me flashbacks to that game. That's why I texted in the group. I was like, honestly, if history teaches me anything, not Newcastle, Tottenham are going to get a point, and that's the vibe I got from it. I was like, Tottenham are going to get this point.
We definitely root the missed chances because we had a lot of missed opportunities in the first half, specifically Haaland and Doku.
Haaland's miss. Honestly, Haaland's miss shocked me. I could not believe that.
I couldn't believe it either, bro.
I was like
Burner-esque. That was Burner-esque.
That's like a trademark goal.
Fernando Torres-esque, and I love Fernando Torres.
That was Burner.
I was shocking.
Worse than Fernando Torres, bro.
Fernando Torres,
I got washed.
Yeah, that was a trademark. That was a trademark finish from Haaland that he missed. So, we definitely root the opportunities because we could have easily been 3-1 up in the first half, but it is what it is. It's kind of like what Eddie said. Neither team deserved 3 points, so 1-1 for the most part was a fair result. But yeah, it could have been a lot different for us.
Honestly, it should feel, from a Manchester City's perspective, it should feel like a loss.
No, it's a blow. It's a blow to the race because we took a step back. But I mean, I'm upset. I'm not happy about it. And it's also what makes it worse is that it's fucking Tottenham. Not that it's a disrespectful thing, but it's like we, for whatever fucking reason, just cannot get consistent results with you guys.
Yeah, but
I was thinking about this, and I wanted to bring this up, and so I'm glad you said that because I don't mean this in any I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to attack City. I'm not trying to be anything. This is just, if I was a City fan, I would hate Spurs with a fiery passion because I feel like Spurs are the only team where it's like and the fact that it's us, we know what Spurs are, obviously bottlers, obviously trophyless, the fact that that's the team that the champions of the league the last 3 years struggle with the most. If I was a City fan, I would fucking hate Spurs. So I don't know if you do, maybe you do, but if you don't, props to you because if it was me, I would be like, really, these are the motherfuckers that always know how to play against us.
Yeah, it's longer than 3 years, Eddie. It's 6 years. I think
City would, or Spurs would be I would hate Spurs more than Liverpool or anything.
We can win. I mean, we normally are able to get a result at home.
Yeah,
it's a way that we have not beaten them in 6 plus years or something like that. But yeah, we fucking lost at home, or not lost. I mean, it felt like a loss at home. So I can only imagine what it's going to be like whenever we go to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So
and they actually have a full squad. Yeah, they actually have a full squad.
We don't know that yet.
Well, we're assuming.
Well, when is that game?
Shit, they have a full squad now, and they dropped the lead. We mentioned when Tottenham were playing so bad for majority of the game.
You know what's the worst fucking
That next
record?
game is
It's
in
in
April.
April 20th.
Oh, they might have a full squad.
That's
by
towards
then.
the end of the season. That could have a lot of implications.
Look
But-
at the implications.
After, what were we gonna say?
The worst record imaginable is just Chelsea's record at Old Trafford. I don't think we've won
Oh,
there since
man.
2012.
Yeah, that's been bad.
Like if that's a bogey team and how it's Old Trafford for that's a horrible stadium for us. But sorry,
Yeah.
you guys talking about bogey stadiums when you think about that.
Arsenal's
No, you're
bogey
good.
teams every relegation fodder team ever.
I just I just think
Oh, what's happened again today? If it wasn't for corruption.
I'm
my
really
lord.
glad to see Lo Celso finally shining now that he's getting minutes.
Yeah, he
2
needed
goals
that
in
goal.
2 games. That goal was class.
It felt like James Madison wasn't even injured.
He's
'Cause he
been
looked a lot like
so
Madison.
he's been so good, and it's like, yeah, like if he can keep firing like that, it does wonders to the depth, especially. I mean, obviously, I would like to buy another midfielder, but you know, a lot of what I was saying was like, if Lo Celso plays well when we start him, if this happens, and so it's nice to see that through 2-3 matches, he's been what we thought he was going to be when we bought him. So Barcelona can fuck off.
Where did you
Or they
buy
can
him
pay
from
you that
again?
60 mil.
What did you say, Abdon?
Where did you guys buy him from? I don't remember.
Villarreal, I think.
Yeah, I think so. That sounds right.
You see, here's my question though. Here's my question, and the game today also with
No, it was
Arsenal.
Betis. It was Betis, and then we loaned him to Villarreal.
But here's my question for everybody, because this season's really put in perspective. When do you think coaches might start? And I'm only thinking this because I thought Ederson was really poor yesterday. You think the emphasis on being a good goalkeeper might come back instead of being good with your feet?
Yesterday?
Not yesterday. I'm sorry. It was Sunday.
I was like, did City play again
No,
yesterday?
because the issue is, well, I'm watching it with a lot of teams, where a lot of the big teams especially have keepers that are really good with their feet. That is like what they're known for. That's like the first thing that's highlighted. But they're terrible shot stoppers. They're not good shot stoppers. They allow too many goals to come in. I mean, Ederson Sunday faced 4 shots. 1 shot he saved, and it was right at him, and then 3 went in. Like,
It just depends on the defense.
yeah, but also like that's my thing is like you look at other teams where goalkeepers are coming up big. Like I was telling Daniel this. I think Allison is probably the best overall keeper in general because he's really good with his feet, but he makes some incredible saves. Whereas like you look at Robert Sanchez for us, and I'm not comparing them level wise. I just mean that in general he makes a lot of mistakes. I think Raya today made some mistakes, and Raya had, at times has made other mistakes. We've got also Ramsdale. You've got Onana clearly. And I'm not saying that it's a trend of defenses because Manchester City have a great defense in front of them. I think it's just eventually someone's got to put it because you look at Tottenham. Vicario he's not bad with his feet, but he's not the level those other guys are. But he's a great shot stopper. And that's a trend that's not just that's not me going after Ederson. It's a trend I've noticed with a lot of teams that put emphasis on having goalkeepers to play off from the back.
I mean, the way I see it is you have a couple different things. Talking about the smaller teams, smaller teams are purposely sitting back and shutting shop, parking the whole bus. So there's less need of a ball playing goalkeeper at that point, and a mediocre goalkeeper is going to have his numbers inflated just because the quality of shot going against him is less than a 1v1 against a keeper like big teams do. Another thing is, and maybe this is more of a Tottenham thing than anybody else. Tottenham play 2 defensive midfielders in Basuma and Sarr, and then an attacking midfielder with a very elite and prolific front line. Whereas some of the teams like us, we play 1 defensive midfielder, 1 ball playing midfielder, and then an attacking midfielder, and then the front line. So they're just doubly protected by the 2 defensive midfielders are just holding the line back, and I don't see their fullbacks really bombing forward too much I know Udogi likes to get up there, but who's your right back against?
Porro.
Pedro Porro goes up, and Udogi at times is
Porro.
playing as a second striker.
Yeah, like so Udogi likes to go up. Porro goes up every once in a while, but I feel like they really sit back in a very defensive shape where they can pick the ball up quickly and get it back. Like they got a different philosophy than like a gegenpress where everyone just surrounds the ball in gegenpress.
Mm-hmm.
They just are. It's like a high defensive system in a
Right.
sense.
Right, and I get where you're coming from, but the only reason I bring it up is it's not because I'm comparing the styles. Like, I mean, even when you look at Manchester City, and if you compare Manchester City to Liverpool, to Chelsea, to Arsenal, to Tottenham, we all play very different styles. I'm not putting emphasis. I don't think it's right or wrong to have a goalkeeper that can play out from the back, and obviously with the game changing is important. But what I mean is, I feel like a lot of coaches are putting more emphasis on goalkeepers that can play out the back. That's a big emphasis, and that's good. And I agree with you that when you're playing for a smart team, yes, your numbers are gonna be inflated, and I have no problem with that because that's valid. But my thing is, eventually, though, you do have to question, because sometimes I watch some of these ball playing goalkeepers, and I think that like there are certain saves that they should be making, and like I mean, Onana is obviously the big one that I can think of recently, but that's just because he's been atrocious. But I think that these a lot of times, like Ederson, I don't think, like I said, I don't think he played really well. And Vicario was getting pelted, so obviously his numbers look a lot better. But at the end of the day, in my opinion, and I guess it's just a matter of opinion, like goalkeepers should be good with their feet, should be able to play out from the back, that sure, but you should be able to make saves. You should be able to make saves. That's your primary job, keeping the ball out of the net. So that's why I'm wondering if coaches, especially just because this season I've seen it way more consistently than any other time. I'm wondering if that is going to become an emphasis again. Not necessarily that they're going to avoid playing out from the back, but like putting more emphasis, because lots of teams play out from the back. And also I feel like lots of teams know how to counter that. So you almost get to a point where it's like, okay, you're going to pick one or the other style, and what's more important to you. To me, I just think a goalkeeper should be able to make saves.
Something with this season is it just seems like everyone is just extremely exhausted. I wouldn't take too much emphasis on trends this season, just because we're seeing a crazy amount of injuries, a crazy amount of exhaustion. Like people are gone, they're dead.
That's valid.
Like we had the was it 3-4 international breaks in 3 months, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
We're about to have. I know teams in Europe have been doing it the whole season, but everyone else is about to have a game every 3 days. Like it's crunch time, and
there's a full slate of games tomorrow, of Premier League games tomorrow. There's like 7 games tomorrow,
and a lot of teams are about to lose players because of AFCON.
Mm-hmm.
Like United, Chelsea's tomorrow.
I think it's tomorrow.
City Villa, that's a huge game. City Villa.
Yeah, come on,
like
Villa.
It's not. I think everyone's just fucking dead. So everything that's going on wrong, in my opinion, is just because players just need a fucking break, and they're not going to get it anytime soon.
I agree with you, but let me ask you this: Is it trends out of all of a sudden that are just happening this season, or is it an accumulation of the nonstop football for the last 5 years?
Well, I think it's the COVID, the fact that they had to crunch everything into a short window to finish out that season. Then there was a shortened break in between the 2 seasons. Then you had a season where it was compressed to because it started a little bit later than because of the COVID. Mm-hmm. So that ended around the same time. Then you had the fucking World Cup year, so that season had to be put on pause, go to World Cup, come back, do the whole thing. Like it's just been it's been too hectic. And then now we're getting back to like the period where you think everything's gonna go back to normal, but like these players have been fucking doing it nonstop for 4 years now. Everyone's just fucking dead. Like it's too much.
Yeah, I get with you, and I agree with you 100%. I think the last 2 years have been very fucking hectic and packed for these players. But I only say that because, back in like 2018, 2019, players were already complaining about playing way too many games. And I think, and especially after COVID happened, you're right, 100%, that with everything being squished into 2 calendar years, it's difficult. But I think it's just an accumulation of like the constant football. Yeah, the COVID thing doesn't help, but I think it's trends that just from the last couple of seasons, it was already starting to do it. I think we're just now, kind of like you said, we're just now seeing the effects of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't
Teams are
know.
gonna have to get bigger allotment for players
Yeah.
somehow, and more subs. I think
Well, it's crazy to me
it's
that
kind of
like,
crazy. You got maybe start pushing like 6 subs a game.
what's
maybe
crazy to
5,
me,
6.
I honestly think they should do about 6 subs a game, and I also think that like, I think England, I'm pretty sure have a maximum. You can only have 25 players in your squad that are that you can register. You can have under 21s and stuff, but in other leagues like Germany and in France, there is no cap. I think you can have like I think Germany the limit's like 60 players. And same kind of rules, under 21s and stuff, but you can have a lot more players. I just think their foreign rules are different. But
It also depends on if they're in Europe or not.
exactly. But when they're in Europe, obviously, because you have to go by European competition regulations and registrations, those change.
Well, just for that competition, you can still play. You still have 6 players for or however many players it is for the league. You just can't use them all in Europe.
Yeah, because I think Europe's the same thing. It's only 25 players. As like the squad max are 26, I think. I don't remember. But then you have the problem because you look at like what happened to Chelsea. You had so many players. So I don't know how that works.
You think it might be because of Brexit? Like some of these issues and rules that apply to England that don't apply to other nations?
Well, England's registration rules are they did have some. I don't remember exactly what changed. I think it made getting work permits harder because they left the European Union for like foreign other players, but I don't think that's changed. It's just because like what I'm pointing at is England have a restriction. They've always had the restriction. I think for the last couple of years before Brexit happened, they had the 25 player max rule, and actually I think it used to be 23 and then increased after COVID to 25. So
I swore it was a lot more than that.
Well, that's 23. Let's say right now, that's 25 registered players.
I understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
I just thought that the registration was like, I swore it was like at least 30.
No, most teams will have like close to 30 players in the squad or like 28, 29, but that's also because they have youngsters under the age of 21 that you don't have to register.
Right. I just thought it was, I don't know. I just thought it was a lot more than that.
No,
but yeah, memories just kind of changing my memory.
Yeah, but I don't know how that would work because I'm with you, Abdon. I think we should get more subs. I think that we need to be able to. I also don't like that if a player gets injured and if a team doesn't have the subs that they have to carry on with 10 men. I think there should be unique situations where if a player's injured, take him off. That shouldn't hit.
But in that situation, it has to be that player is unavailable. If you have to use an emergency sub, if that player is subbed out for injury, they can't be used for a month.
No, I think it's one of those things. It's like when you look at Nick Pope, that happened on the weekend where he got his shoulder injury and he's ruled out for 3 months. It's got to be something where it's like this player cannot continue. It's not one of those things where he tweaked an ankle.
They can't be bullshitting it. They can't be bullshitting like if the player is like injured, but then he's only injured for like a week. It's a knock or something like that. Okay, too bad. He's out for a month.
Yeah, and then you got
used it. Pay the price now. He's done for a bit.
Yeah.
And then you got to deal with the consequences of it because if not, you're gonna have situations where, I don't want to bring this into college football, but in college football, I've seen a big trend where players will just go down on defensively, and then just get back up, and then they'll sit out for a play, they come back in. It's like, why the fuck did he go down then? Like, if he's down, he's got to be out for that series. If he's down, he's got to be come back whenever the defense is back out there again, something like that. Like, if you're gonna fucking be faking injuries, you gotta have some consequences to it.
No, I get that. Yeah, and I agree with that. That's the hard part about implementing those new rules, but we'll see what happens. But yeah. But what else are we gonna talk about? Now Brandon's here, we can finally talk about Arsenal and how you guys robbed Luton.
That man's asleep.
Welcome, Brandon. Everybody, Brandon's back.
Yay!
Whoa!
Welcome.
You fucking robbed Luton, you bitch.
I have a couple comments. on what you guys have been talking about.
Why haven't you been saying anything? Why are you waiting now?
You missed the
full-
GTA 6 conversation, and we roasted England for a little bit.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Missed the
honestly,
PBL
I
talk.
miss that I'm more gutted that I missed the England roast than I am with the GTA 6
you were gonna
conversation.
say that.
Classic American. All right. Hit us with the comments.
So the reason why I didn't interrupt is because you guys were flowing so well, and you guys were cooking
Thanks.
really well. So I
I
didn't
can
want to
see it.
interrupt.
I can feel it.
Hey, let him cook. So James Lauren Alcott did a video breaking down the importance of Doku with City, and I obviously I heard some of us shitting on Doku just now, and I think it's important to go. I think we should all watch that video because it actually breaks down how important of a player he is for City
Nah.
and how bad
No,
they
he's
suffer
great.
when he's.
I think he's really
Yeah.
good.
I
And
mean, the only thing I have against it is that like everyone's just gassing him when he doesn't perform against quality fullbacks. But keep going. Sorry.
and how bad they suffer when he's substituted. He breaks all that down.
Okay. Link
Anyways,
it. Link it in the
and then the other
chat.
thing
Link it in the
is
chat.
I will. The other thing is, Onana has the second most clean sheets in the league.
Yeah, no,
So-
I've seen that stat.
We're all aware.
I've seen that stat, but I've also seen
That's
games
awesome.
where the last game they kept the clean sheet against Everton. If Everton had been able to put shots on target, that game could have easily ended with Onana conceding a few. Onana is my criticism isn't because he can't make saves. My criticism is when he makes saves, he butches them.
Or when he attempts to make a save.
That's what I'm saying. When he tries to make a save, when you look at the Galatasaray game.
That's fair. He definitely makes a lot more errors than he needs to, but he's keeping clean sheets too, and we know that's likely not because of City's defense.
You're right, because it's being United's
defense. Anyways, to your little thing about earlier in the chat where you're like, if that was Ramsdale in goal, Brandon would be going up. First of all, that second goal, Ramsdale would have done the same thing as Raya. He's not good at coming out with crosses.
I'm not.
Second goal goes in regardless.
Brandon, my point is you just pointed my. Hold on. I'm gonna let you talk.
Let him land.
All right. Let me hear me out. Let me hear.
Let him cook.
The third goal, I will give you. Ramsdale would have saved it because Ramsdale loves to make himself as big as possible, puts his legs out, all that. He probably would have got a leg on it or a foot on it, making the save. Raya just
was right over it.
But Brandon,
I know.
ahead, sorry.
I know that's the
this.
shot that keepers
said
struggle
this.
with the most is shots that are right at their feet.
Nobody
However,
believe me.
I don't think we should be letting that in. What are you saying, Eddie?
I said when this move happened, I said this is going to end up being a bad thing for both goalies. And y'all were like, no, but competition is good. And to a certain extent, yes. But with goalkeepers, I think it's different. And I think we're seeing that now. Especially because
I still think Raya's better than Ramsdale. And I would still be happy to sell Ramsdale.
I think that's fine. But I think one of them has to go.
I think because Raya's better than Ramsdale doesn't mean that Raya's class.
Yeah, I think Raya's definitely
still
improved.
Not good enough for Arsenal.
I don't know. I think Raya's definitely improved a lot more than when he was at Brentford, and I think part of that is because of the Ramsdale being right behind them. But my point in the group chat, Brandon, wasn't to crucify you or not you, but wasn't to crucify Raya. It was to just point out what you did point out just now. I said, had it been Ramsdale, you would be talking a lot of shit. And you just said it right now. You said, with the first goal, Ramsdale would have done the same thing. That's fine. You didn't say anything about Raya. If it was Ramsdale, you would have been going off and been like, this is why we didn't win the league. Our keeper's not good enough, blah, 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 blah. You didn't say anything.
Well, I wasn't texting much in the group chat anyway because I was just watching the game.
Yeah, but I said it, and you
No,
didn't say it. You didn't respond, and that was my only
because
point.
I didn't even
Mans
see
was
it.
locked in. Mans was locked
I
in.
did. I only
He was
picked up my
coaching
phone
them. He was coaching
twice
them.
during the whole game.
Man, yeah, he had his clipboard out.
Yeah,
He was
I
taking
only
notes.
picked up my phone twice
He was
during
like,
the whole
"Oh,
game.
Jose, okay, I'll keep
And-
that in mind."
And that was for the first response after like the 60th minute when it was 3-3.
Oh, I did
And
respond a
then
lot.
at the very end of the game.
Yeah, because I want you to keep the
won.
same energy you kept with
That's
me.
the only time I looked at my phone.
I want you to keep the same energy you kept with us. That's why I thought it was rigged.
What do you mean?
I thought the
What?
game was rigged. I thought they gave us corruption on, and I think they gave Arsenal way too much time.
They gave us 20 extra seconds.
Damn, bro. But that 20 extra seconds you scored.
When the Brentford player literally fouled our guy within the 6
Brentford?
added minutes.
How long was he on the ground for?
Hey, bro, listen.
He wasn't
Brennan,
actually on the ground for very long.
Brennan, listen. That's fine. That's fine.
They restarted the game pretty quick.
I'm gonna tell you what you were saying when we were talking about the Honduras Mexico game, bro. That sucks, man. I don't know what to tell you. I like the shithousery, bro. Like, what? Come on, it's corruption.
Yeah, it sucks for Brentford or for
Now
Luton.
keep the same energy you had. Keep the same energy. You can admit it. It's corruption.
The banter? The
No.
banter?
No, not the banter. I'm talking about after we got off camera.
You're never gonna
Banter?
get anything out of him. You're never gonna get anything out of him.
No, it's because he doesn't keep
You're
the
not
same
gonna
energy.
get anything out of
It's
me.
not. It doesn't keep the same energy. That's why. It's all.
not
This
gonna
is
get-
terrible.
you're not
This
gonna
is
get-
corrupt.
you're
This
not
is
gonna
blah blah
get
blah.
the same
Happens
out
to
of me.
his teams. He's like, bro, I don't even know what anyone's talking about. What are y'all watching?
I mean, Premier League versus Concacaf is two different things.
I
But
know it's worse because you're one of the top
agreed
teams
with
in
me.
Premier League.
If you want to talk about last or 2 weeks ago, you agreed with me when
Aren't
we
you one of
said,
the top teams in Concacaf?
huh?
Who?
Mexico.
No, Mexico's one of the top teams in Concacaf.
It's not or is?
It's one of. It's not anymore. It's not the top dog anymore.
Hey.
But what I was
If you
saying
want to
though,
talk about 2 weeks ago, we agreed we wouldn't be surprised if CONCACAF skews games in favor of the USA and Mexico.
well, I also wouldn't be surprised
We both
if,
agree
in
on
fact, yeah, I
We
agree with
both
that.
agree
I
on
also wouldn't put it past the Premier League to do some sketchy ass shit. I mean, we've seen all the corruption with Manchester United in a couple of recent years with refereeing decisions. We've all seen that. Like, I wouldn't be shocked now that Arsenal are back up and being one of the title favorites and being a team that's up there, having some favoritism.
Why would the Premier League favor Arsenal over City or
Because
Liverpool?
They
because
favor everything Arsenal.
because
Don't
Brandon,
hit us
here's
with
the
that.
issue.
Don't
Here's the
hit us with
issue.
that.
Here's the issue. The same
Don't do
thing.
that.
The same thing that you said. The reason CONCACAF would
Yeah.
skew things for Mexico, because the better Arsenal are doing, the more competitive the league is, the more people tune in to watch it and watch Arsenal games, and the more money that is generated. That is why. If you were still competing for 6th to 8th place every season, no one would care. But now you're competing for top 4, top 2 potentially. So like, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked.
Maybe.
Okay, as long as you say yes.
But I was also watching something else. I was watching the Kickoff podcast, and they were saying has nothing to do with anything we've been talking about. By the way,
Classic.
shut the fuck up.
Why even mention it?
It's important. Let him talk.
Because
Just
it has,
say
to do,
it.
it has. Well, it kind
No.
of does. It has to do with a little. It has
No.
to do with
No,
a
go
little bit
ahead.
of like corruption in the Prem.
Go ahead.
They're saying that it would not behoove the Prem to punish Chelsea and City too hard if their allegations are found out to be true.
And I agree with that. I agree 100% with that. Unfortunately, it's not right. I think we talked about that in the last podcast.
Yeah.
I wasn't present for the last podcast.
Yeah, you
have
were.
any
It was you, me, and
allegations.
Brandon.
We don't have any.
Oh,
No, that was
you-
2 pods ago.
Oh, maybe it was 2 months ago.
Last week was just you, me, and Daniel, right?
That's right. Oh, maybe it was us 3 that was talking about it, and we were talking about it.
Chelsea don't have any allegations.
They literally do.
They don't.
They literally do.
Literally, people. The only thing is fucking one fucking reporter at what is it? Fucking the Daily Mail that wants us to investigate it. That's not an allegation, my guy. That's just fucking a smokescreen.
No, everybody's talking about it. It's an allegation.
No.
Yeah.
The Daily
everybody's
Mail
talking-
fucking said
Everybody's
it.
talking about it.
It
Everybody's
was a
talking about
Daily Mail that was the first one that put out that post.
Ours is
Literally everybody's talking about
but that's
it.
what an allegation
Okay,
is.
just
It's
because
just
everyone takes
it's just
it once the Daily
alleged
Mail
crime.
puts it out, sure.
It's just an alleged crime. It's not like Manchester City, who definitely committed crime with this 116 allegations. So
115.
I thought, okay, whatever it was.
If they can't find one of those to be true,
No, they will, but they won't. They'll settle. They're like we talked about in the last podcast. Some we did last time. They'll settle it. And you're right. I think it's fucked, but 100% because of who the teams are being investigated and who the teams are having allegations against them. They'll definitely get a slap on the wrist. On the wrist, not risk. But
So,
If fucking Chelsea and
it-
City are relegated, the Super League starts immediately.
that's also not a problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Premier League will cease to exist. The Super League will be created again.
Well, I don't know if they'll cease to exist, but the definitely
It'll be the championship all over again. The Chelsea, City, Arsenal, Tottenham, Real Madrid, Bayern, Barcelona, all the big teams are going to the Super League immediately.
No, I'd like to have faith again that they would say no. Barcelona will because they need the money. Barcelona 100% will say,
If
come here,
Chelsea
daddy.
are gone, we're gonna push it. The only reason why the Super League didn't happen was because Chelsea backed out.
Chelsea backed out. Manchester City backed
we
out.
saved football
No,
that
actually,
day. We
City
saved
backed
football
out.
that day.
City
No,
did
we backed
actually.
out first.
No,
We
City backed out.
first.
City backed out
No,
first.
PSG backed out first.
PSG did
Then it
PSG
was
reject
City.
it?
Yeah, they rejected it.
Bayern
actually.
also rejected it. Bayern and City
Bayern was-
didn't
City,
been one of
and
the
City was the
first.
first one.
to
We
back
were the
out.
first ones backed out.
Yeah,
We were
City.
the first ones backed
No,
out.
City backed out. I think Chelsea were after, but
Oh,
City were the
only
first
reason
team.
why I remember is because they were like Oil Money FC was like something
Was
about
what
Oil Money
saved the
FC.
game the
Like,
day, yeah.
yeah. So
the
that's
last
only
three
reason why I
clubs
know
were,
it was-
I think it was what, Juve, Barca, and Real Madrid.
Yeah.
They were in it for like another year afterwards. Until
Yeah,
they almost
it
got like
took
sued
their
for
time.
Low-key,
it.
isn't like low-key didn't like Juve, Real Madrid, and I think Barcelona, aren't they like the only teams that actually haven't backed out?
Well,
To this
well,
day.
Real Madrid's
eventually
president
backed out,
Florentino Perez was the one who incited the Super League talk.
I know that.
Now that we know
I'm saying,
Bayern's, now we
Dude,
know.
I'm just saying,
Imagine-
like, as a club, like, didn't those three clubs specifically did not like to this day still haven't backed out?
I think they have.
No, they still
I think
remain. They're
there'd
still
be-
attached to
there'd
the
be
project. Yeah.
sanctions against them if they hadn't
Yeah.
backed out yet.
No, they're still attached to the project. They just it's
what I thought.
in brewing, but they never officially left. Manchester City, 30 minutes after it was like after I guess a press conference, they were the first to formally commit proceedings to withdraw from the Super League. They may have
Imagine
not been the first ones
Florentino-
out.
Imagine Florentino Perez is the one that introduces the idea, and then it's like, Real Madrid's pulling out first.
Maybe, but I mean, the only two teams that stayed in there was Juventus and Barcelona, and we see both of their financial issues. So, you know, it's not uncommon. It's not the first time Juventus have been in some kind of trouble. I mean, you remember
Yeah.
2004, 2005 when they got relegated?
They're relegated, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like, and then Barcelona obviously with their financial crisis. So, yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens with these because this is like next level.
Anyways, back to the point at hand. Which was Arsenal Luton.
I forgot.
thought, dude, Luton started the first 15 minutes off so crazy good. I was scared. I was like, these guys are pressing the life out of us. We're gonna get fucked. Like, one of our center backs is gonna make a mistake. We're not gonna he's not gonna hit the ball hard enough on a pass or something, and they're gonna get a breakaway goal or something. Dude, I was so scared. That goal that we got was heavily against the run of play. And then, oh my gosh, the corner. I was like, in my head, the commentator was like, he said something like, "Oh, it's going to be hard for Luton to score here against the best defense in the league," and I'm just like, it's like, why would you bring that up? Like, why would you do that right now? And then they score.
Yeah, commentators
So-
curse.
Dude, I hate the commentators curse so much. It is so real.
Yeah, but Luton also
This
proved. I'll go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's it.
Oh, I was gonna
What
say,
were you gonna
Luton just the thing I said in the group text last week Luton proved it again. Like Burnley and Luton can play ball. They just can't get results.
Dude, they played really they played
They played
sick.
well. Them
This
and
was
Burnley.
This might have been their best game of the season.
Yeah, them and Burnley, the games I have watched them play, I think they have really good passages of play where they're very well organized, they're very tactically sound, and they're very fluid in attack. The only issue is they're struggling to finish or struggling to hold on to results. And
Yeah.
we saw it again today. We saw that when Burnley lost, I forgot who they lost. I think it was Newcastle. It might have not been Newcastle. I can't remember who they played 2 weeks ago. But
It kind of happened with Luton against Chelsea.
yeah, like it's they just can't. They
Today
unfortunately
lost
can't
to
hold on.
Wolves.
What?
Brandon?
I said today they lost to Wolves.
No, he's talking about when Luton played
Wolves
Chelsea.
are not bad.
You said Newcastle.
Oh, sorry. No, it wasn't. No, I'm talking about Burnley. Burnley played a team, not this last week, because I know they beat Sheffield 5-0. They played a different team. And they were 1-up. It was West Ham. West Ham scored 2 late goals.
Mm.
And it's just like, it's a shame because I think they play good ball. It's just they need to learn how to win. They need to learn how to grind out these results if they want to stay in the Prem.
Ross Barkley is a baller.
He is, dude. He
was
is.
sick today.
He's just an
I
inconsistent
can't believe how good he was from
He
when I was watching, at least.
He was so sick today. I was heated watching him.
He's just
Dude,
inconsistent.
I wanted him to be subbed off so bad. Him and Doty, dude, I think what is it? Their left back he was sick today too. I mean, the team today the Luton team showed such immense passion and desire for this game. I was like, dude, if they could play like this every week, I think they'd be fine. But I think, after the first half, I was like, I think we'll be good because they won't be able to keep up with the press the whole game, which was true. Towards the end of the game, you could see them getting pretty fucking tired.
Mm-hmm.
So that definitely helped us in the end. But like if they had been able to, not concede one goal from us, and I mean, I don't think we even draw that game.
Yeah.
I think I finally on Brandon's camp, but for different reasons. I want Everton to get relegated, but so that Luton can stay up.
That's so fun.
Yeah, because if they build, they'll be a quality side.
Luton have like me watching Luton. I've enjoyed more than watching Everton this season.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I know Everton have gotten more points. Obviously, Everton have gotten more results. I mean, obviously they got deducted points, but I've enjoyed my time watching Luton more than Everton this season. I want to see Luton in the Prem. Like I want to see them build on staying up. I think that project of keeping them up for multiple seasons is exciting to me. I enjoy watching them.
I agree, but I think same kind of thing though. The reason Everton have gotten more points is because they have a manager in Sean Dyche that knows how to just grind out games.
Yeah.
And I don't want them to obviously change their style of play, but they gotta eventually start looking at Sean Dyche and be like, okay, there's certain passages of plays where we just have to bunker down and just hold on to these results. Like we can play good football, we know we can play, but we need to start winning.
Yeah,
and that's where a higher footballing IQ on how to manage the games at that level.
If they can start getting ties off of, I don't want to say top teams like if they can start getting results off mid-table teams and possibly beating relegation teams, like they will absolutely stay up.
Absolutely.
Also, Kenilworth Road, fuck
electric. It's electric, dude. It's electric.
Yeah, it's electric, but it's fucking scary.
I was thinking to myself watching that game, I'm so glad we played Luton away when we did, because if we played them at our current state with injuries, we would have lost 1-0 on a Ross Barkley 88th minute header. Like I know it would have happened. Dude, that place is so fun.
It's rocking, dude. The fans cheer. What I like the most is the fans cheer literally everything that goes right. Like like
I mean, they're just good fans.
Like, yeah,
They're
it's
great
just,
fans.
it's like I really wish like Arsenal fans would do that, where you cheer literally every tiny detail just to bring up your players. Because I was like, I fucking hate that because I know their players are feeling good about themselves, and it's making them want to play real good for the fans. It's scary because, like, yeah, it's a small stadium, but because it's so small, like this, it just sounds so much more immense.
It's just not in your guys' DNA, though.
You know what's a wild song to me for Arsenal?
What?
The Havertz one.
What was that?
The Simon Amina Waka
Oh,
Waka.
yeah.
60
60 million
down
down the
drain.
drain.
Kai
Kai
Havertz
Havertz
again.
scores again.
It's like,
Hey.
how's it down the drain? How's it down the drain if you scored? I don't get it.
I like how they were chanting that before he even scored. So scores again, and he hasn't scored yet.
I think you were talking about robberies. Like, scored again, like Arsenal, you know. Got another one. Got him. But
Oh, that's a wild song to me. But no,
The Arsenal
sorry.
was the oh no, I guess that would make sense because Arsenal's chanting that because they're celebrating a
They were
goal.
chanting it
That's
once.
a, yeah, that
he
is a
scored.
weird chant.
Like the wording of it is just I don't understand it just because like you're shitting on your own player essentially. 60 million down the drain.
Well, I don't think a lot of Arsenal fans rate Havertz.
I mean, probably
Yeah.
not.
But no, I
I
think
mean, even if he scores, they're probably like, yeah, it's still 60 million wasted.
Yeah.
But I think it's just honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you, I think it's just a London thing. And it's also like a higher club thing.
It's a higher club thing.
It's definitely a higher club
You're
thing.
shitting on your own players?
No. The atmosphere.
The lack of atmosphere.
Yeah, because like I see it at Stamford Bridge, I see it at Arsenal, I see it at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Like the big London stadium.
No. Hotspur Stadium is popping all the fucking.
No,
We have a
compared to West Ham.
Compared to West Ham fans. We have really good
compared to
fans.
West Ham. Compared to Crystal Palace.
I don't watch a ton of West Ham, so I don't know how.
I'm not saying your fans are bad. What I'm saying is they're not like what Luton is. They're not what, these other smaller teams are because they're just happy to see their team playing competitively at a high level. It's very different.
Rowdy. You know what I miss?
What?
Huddersfield games.
Huddersfield were lit, yeah.
That shit was like I was watching a Brazilian national team game. That was the drums, the whole time. That shit was fun. I miss that. I will say that.
But they also could.
I want to see.
I don't know. It's just that's how
Ipswich are currently in a promotion spot. They're currently second. I want to see them in the Prem, dude.
Yeah,
that'd be sick.
But yeah, and then that's a good point you say Ipswich. You bring up the championship and their top teams. Their fans are going crazy because they all want to get to the Premier League, so they are all supporting.
It 100% is the fact that in the championship you want to get to the Prem, and once you're in the Prem, you are trying to do everything you can to keep your team in the Prem
because you just want to. You're just happy to be there.
It's a different level. You're happy to be there, but your goal is you want to avoid relegation. You like as a fans, you have to be like. It's important to rally the team and keep them, you want to keep them up. So it definitely is a different level of, I don't want to say passion. It's just a different, it's a different experience, I guess is what I'm trying to say, because you're literally trying to will your team to stay in the Prem.
No, I think it's a different passion. I think it is. And I think you're right because it's a different experience. Because when you look at it, when you're a top team, if you drop points, if you
it's not the end of the world.
No, for a top team though that's challenging for the league, it can be, and it's so draining, right, and it's so just frustrating. Whereas opposed to like when you're a bottom team, you get a draw, and you're like, "Fuck yeah, but we got a point." Like it is just it's so much more. It low key is obviously it's like it's not the same thing as like winning a title. It's not the same thing as winning a trophy because those are obviously the pinnacles of every football team. You want to win those, but I think when you consistently are just performing well, your team's getting points. And you're that level, and like your only goal is to not get relegated, and they play good football, you just are happy. You're just having a good time because it's just consistently having a good time. Obviously, it's not winning a trophy or anything. That obviously makes everyone else happier, but I don't know. I feel like most people would rather take their teams playing really well and having a good fucking time. And obviously, you want to win titles, but that's just me. That's why I think it is a different experience, and it's just a different type of passion. Because I think once you get to the top, it's just a lot more bitter. I mean, look how like I don't want to clown. I'm not trying to clown. It's gonna sound like clowning, but look at Brandon. Like I feel like he was a lot more happy. Like you say you're happy now, and like I get it because Arsenal were kind of flip flop a couple years ago. But I think you were enjoying Arsenal a lot more a couple years ago than you are now. Because now you're. I feel like if you don't hit certain milestones, you're much more bitter. Whereas like back then, you were still a little bitter, but it was more of like a constant joy. Like you would lose files and stuff, and obviously you'd be upset. But it was a lot more like you were just happy to see the team playing well. If you got big wins, it was a different type of experience. Now you go into games expecting to win. And if you don't, or you lose against teams you should be winning against, it's not a bitterness, but like the only thing I can think of or straight off the dome is like when we first started this podcast, when you guys were in Champions League spots and then dropped to 5th. And that was a very bitter you. Not because I don't agree with you, I don't disagree with you that, you know, you should have easily finished in the top 4, but overall it was a huge improvement from the season before.
Who took their spot?
I don't remember. Maybe Spurs.
It was.
But that's what I mean. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. You can only tell me.
I don't know. I didn't enjoy being mid.
You weren't mid though. You were still in the top
No,
6.
we were mid.
You're 5th.
We were well. He's talking about like
Before that, yeah.
post Wenger era, like 6th and 8th finishes.
Well, I don't even mean during
Yeah.
that era. I meant like even when you were under Arsene Wenger and you were finishing 4th, 5th, 6th.
Under Arsene Wenger was like a
It's a different. I get it was a different vibe.
it was like a cock tease. It was
Yeah.
like, oh, you're gonna finish 4th, but you're not gonna get to 1st.
Yeah, but you guys were still enjoying the football. You guys were just like, as long as the team plays. That's what I mean. It's like, but like Arsenal fans, in my opinion, become more hyper. What's the word? Hypercritical. I guess is the best way to explain it.
Of the team now,
Yeah.
because we expect more.
Yeah, and that's where I'm trying to get to. It's not that that's wrong. I just think that for smaller teams, that those expectations aren't there. Whereas for the big teams, those expectations are there. And when they're not meeting those expectations, you get more bitter. Whereas other teams are just enjoying the ride.
Yeah, I
don't know.
guess.
I don't know.
I think that also probably has to do with like where the club is historically.
That's true.
So, like, if we don't reach, certain heights, we're meant to be a historic club. We should be in, not like like obviously automatically we don't have the right to be in those places, but it's just like this is where we've been at historically. Why aren't we there now? Type thing.
But then you also go ahead, sorry.
So when we weren't getting those like into the top 4 or even the top 5 all the time, it was a little bit frustrating still. I don't know.
No, I get you. I understand. And I mean, but the only thing I could say is like you also like what I said earlier, you weren't here when I mentioned Manchester United, like where everyone keeps going, it's Manchester United. That ship is gone. Like when you look at other teams also like Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest, Leeds, they were also those teams where people were like, well, it's them. And I know that was a long time ago, but historically that's where they were. And they've dropped down, and you just have to sometimes accept that you're not what you once were. And I'm not saying that was Arsenal, but
I will say back in those like Unai Emery / Arteta's just taking over periods, it was more acceptable for me for Arsenal to lose against like top 6 opponents because I was like, this is where we're at right now. This is just the state of our club, like whatever. Now, if we lose to a top 6 opponent, I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, we're supposed to be challenging for the title and we're losing to a top 6 club. So maybe you're right, but I don't know.
yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to to remember the emotions that I had back then
Mhm.
versus now.
Yeah.
From when I was editing, oh, what was my take? I kind of agree with Daniel on keeping the Gold Cup.
You're wrong.
But here's if we aren't gonna merge and just make Copa America, well, like low-key, even if we do, I know these tournaments have value, but a way to make them have even more value, like the Asian Cup, the AFCON, Euros, Gold Cup, and Copa America, why not give the winner automatic World Cup qualification? Well, what makes those tournaments valuable more than that? Nothing.
Yeah.
The trophy itself obviously will be important, but the automatic World Cup qualifying immediately makes every A team go to the Gold Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately. So I don't know why that's not already a thing. I think that should be a thing. I think if you win your regional cup, you should
Because then you
be
have things
given
like Italy.
what?
Because then you have things like Italy, where they were good enough to win the Euros, but then weren't good enough to make the World Cup.
Yeah, like if
Yeah,
you
you
win
don't-
the
But like,
Euros,
that's why you
should
don't
be.
have that. But that's why you don't.
But
have
if
that,
you win the
because Italy-
Euros, you are good enough.
But here's my thing. Here's my issue, Eddie, with
clearly
that.
not with
You're
Italy.
eliminating the competitional aspect of the game.
Yeah, and that's my
But
problem.
everyone else still has to qualify. It's
Yeah,
just those
but-
few teams that win their cups that don't have to qualify.
I agree with that. I like the idea of that. Here's the issue though with the Gold Cup. And this is my issue with the Gold Cup when we were talking about it. It's the competitive side of the Gold Cup. If we all want to join and merge and join CONMEBOL, then I'm all for that. The winner of the Copa America can go and be automatically qualified for the World Cup. But when you have teams that don't have to do the qualification stages for Gold Cup, like USA, Mexico, that's not competitive. We're already in the last four. Or we're in the group stages, and let's be realistic. When you get grouped up with Cuba and Qatar and Honduras, you're gonna go through. And you're going to make it to knockout rounds. And most likely you're going to get an easy stage because you're going to finish first in those. And we've seen it time and time again. That's my issue with the Gold Cup. If you want to make it competitive, if you don't merge, then fine, sure. But then you have to make the USA, Mexico, and Canada and other teams like that qualify for it. Because if not, it's not fair. But my whole thing is like, why keep it? Why not just join CONMEBOL? Like they're already doing merger stuff. Might as well just join CONMEBOL. You may not win the tournament, but the point is to be competitive, and you still have to do qualifications.
Yeah, I think that they like a merger would be beneficial for both regions.
Mm-hmm. My thing is like, I just
think it would
don't.
be beneficial for Concacaf more than CONMEBOL. Not on some.
No, I agree with you.
Totally shit. Not on some totally shit. I just think that Concacaf gains way more.
Sure,
than
CONCACAF needs it more for sure, but it's not a bad thing for CONMEBOL.
No, you gain US, Canada, and Mexico. Like
and you gain revenue,
you get a lot of money.
Yeah,
you get a lot of revenue through those three countries alone. It's just, yeah. I just think that if you do it, you gotta rename the Copa America and retire it. You gotta retire that cup.
I don't think so. I mean,
because then it'll always be. It will never be on a playing ground with like how many you win. Like you'll always have like the disparities of like Argentina's won this many, Brazil's won this many, Chile won that many, blah blah blah. Like
okay, and
you just gotta cut it. You gotta just restart it and redo a whole new tournament.
I disagree. I disagree because like we're redoing the World Cup. There's gonna be more teams that have never been played in the World Cup. We're not scrapping the World Cup.
Everyone has been able to qualify for the World Cup ever since the World Cup became a thing.
Yeah, I agree. But also, like, this wouldn't be... The reason I say why get rid of the Copa America name is this isn't the first time either if we merge that CONCACAF teams were in the Copa America.
Because the only time that was a thing was Copa America Centenario. Like it was a special tournament. It wasn't an actual Copa America.
And when was that?
It was a supplemental tournament.
It was 2016.
Yeah. I don't know. I
It
think
was it was supplemental. It wasn't the legit. Because what? Like the year before, Chile won the actual Copa America.
yeah, and then
like,
they
the
won the one
Yeah.
after. No, they won two
Huh?
back to back.
The two.
They won two
Oh,
back to back. I don't know. I just think that like my thing is just like the reason I say why change is like what would you change it to? It's the Americas, North and South. That's why I'm like to me it doesn't matter. Like I don't think
I
it's
think you just
unfair.
rename it. You rename it. You bring in a new trophy. Like just retire that trophy. Give the trophy to the nation has the most wins, and that's it. Like kind of like how you had the Jules Bianchi. Is that wasn't Bianchi? What was the name of the original World Cup trophy?
I don't remember. Okay.
Like the original World Cup trophy, like that was given to Brazil because they had won the five,
most.
the 3 or 4 most, and
Hey everybody, so unfortunately we had some audio issues with that podcast. It got cut off the last couple minutes. We were just talking about the restructuring of Copa America. Hopefully we're trying to resolve those issues. They don't happen in the future, but you know things just kind of happen sometimes. But we appreciate everyone that listened. We really appreciate if you followed, like, follow us on Twitter, suggest any issues or any topics that you'd like us to talk about. We are primarily a football/soccer podcast, but we will tackle other topics, just depending on what they are. So, like we always say, thank you guys so much. Have a great day.